As Madame Francis and Ambassador Yi already presented, ITC has a long-standing relation with China that predates its accession to the WTO and continues since. And when working with China, it's always very important to an organization like ours to identify trade promotion solutions that can be replicated to the benefits of our poorer clients, mainly the LDCs. As it has been said, we stand today almost exactly 10 years after China's accession to the WTO, informally in Doha. I can personally remember the warm welcome that China received there at the time of the ministerial conference. And we all have in mind the incredible success stories that Ambassador Yi just reminded us for China's external trade during the last 10 years. And this success story has proved to be directly instrumental to achieving an essential part of the global poverty reduction results, which are monitored under the Global Millennium Development Goals. So we thought this 10th anniversary was a good time to try to look at China in the world trade system and order. And to try to step into the discussion, I would like to propose to you and to our panelists to explore two angles. The first angle could be a sort of stock-taking look to the lessons that have been learned by both China and the world trading system since its accession to the WTO. Did the hopes, or maybe the fears, that were foreseen by the time of China's accession really materialize, or did we see something else unfold? How did China integrate the rule of trade law in its internal reform processes toward building a market economy? How did China interacted with its trade partners in terms of Doha negotiations and rules implementation? And what has been the role and the impact of China's trade expansion vis-à-vis the rest of the developing world? This is a point that Ambassador Yi just touched upon. The second angle that I would propose to you could focus more on the actual state of play and the outlook of China's increasing weight in the world trading system. And from that perspective, we all are aware that the picture today is very different than what it was 10 years back. First, the panorama of the world trading system has substantially evolved. Global trade liberalization has been stalled, while the dynamic of regional agreement was intensifying. And we also are aware that the financial crisis may have unleashed some protectionist tensions. Second, we have been witnessing the old economy being back into the picture with the emergence of China as a global consumer. A new situation has been created on the markets of commodities, raw materials, energies, and agricultural land. And third, the panorama of global governance has evolved significantly too. Back in the old days, the situation was pretty simple. We had the G8 on one side and the G77 plus China on the other hand. While both of them are still around, the G20 has really emerged as a political center for global governance. So these are the types of trends that I'm suggesting we could discuss and that our panel may enlighten us on today. To that aim, let me introduce formally our main speaker, who is very well known in this room and in this institution, His Excellency Minister Long Yung-tu. Minister Long, it happens that you have many lives, at least 4 that I could count. The first one is the most well known in this room is your commitment with MOVTech that you have been serving for many years, assuming various and important positions to the point of being appointed Minister and Chief Representative for Trade Negotiation in 1997. And under this capacity, you led the historical effort that brought China accession to the WTO. But there is a second dimension, as important in your career, which has to do with your long-standing commitment to the UN system. Here again, under various positions, be it as a diplomat to the permanent mission of China in New York, or as a UNDP staff member and resident representative in Pyongyang. And this important commitment has been recognized through the special award that you received from Secretary General Kofi Annan in 2004. You are also known for your commitment to promoting regional economic cooperation in Asia, under, once again, several hats in many forums, including APEC. 4 fourth and not least, you are a recognized scholar, doctor in economy from the London School of Economics, Dean of the School of International Relations and Public Affairs in Shanghai Funda University, and also a visiting professor of many academic institutions. So, Minister Long, we would be happy to have the opportunity to listen to you for approximately 30 minutes, either from the lecture or... And then I will introduce our three discussants, Mr. Pierre Defresne, Mr. Herbert Oberensley, and Mr. Rajesh Agarwal for 22. Mr. Long, the floor is yours.